In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus laying in the tech zone.
Welcome back, third and final segment of the show. Hope you enjoyed the second segment. We talked about Star Trek Discovery, the new Star Trek series. Make sure you go and check it out. You can check it out on CBS All Access. Stream it up. Technology is so cool. Now you can stream whole seasons or take your time with it. But whatever you do, just definitely watch it. In a few weeks, there is going to be a new Marvel show that's going to debut. It'll be on Freeform. And this show has gotten a lot of hype. I got a chance to see the first 5 screeners of the show. And this show is amazing. Now, what show am I talking about? Well, if you're watching our video coverage of the show, you'll be able to check it out. If not, if you're on ABC News Radio, you can just listen to the great sound and the narration behind it. But remember, you can always check it out on the YouTube channel or live stream. But check this out.
First, we look at the past. New Orleans is a roller coaster of destruction and rebirth. Fire, famine, disease, war. It always came down to 2 people. The divine pairing.
I feel like I have to be perfect. Like I have to do everything right.
I go the other way. I run away from everything. I've had a lot of things taken from me. And everything I have, I've had to steal.
There's something about fear that pushes me. That's my whole life.
Whenever anything goes wrong, I hightail it out of town.
I think we need to talk.
When we touch, shake those boots. Let's test our limits.
It's the same as it was for all the others. One will live, and one will die.
The universe keeps pushing us together.
The universe keeps pulling us apart.
All right, on June 7th, it is going to be Cloak and Dagger. Going to debut on Freeform. And if you don't have Freeform, check your provider satellite cable so you can get it. If not, you'll be able to definitely stream it on the Freeform app or the ABC app, I do believe. But I got a chance to talk to the 2 young stars in Cloak and Dagger. And if you're a comic book aficionado, you know about Cloak and Dagger, you know about the series, and it's good to now to have it on TV now, so we can check it out and live in the living color. But I got a chance to talk to Aubrey Joseph and also Olivia Holt about their characters and what to expect in this series.
Olivia, let's talk about your character.
I play Tandy Bowen. Tandy is, she's a really interesting human being. She goes through a lot within this story, and I found her to be intriguing, complicated, strong, bold, cynical, but has a hint of hope in her, and I think that's what she's striving for in life. And she's a character. She loves the relationship and hates the relationship that she has with Tyrone, which I think brings it to a very beautiful balance, and I'm excited for everyone to meet her.
We're definitely looking forward to it. Now let's talk to your other half right here. Aubrey, what's going on?
Good, nice to meet you.
How you doing? So talk about your character.
Well, basically Ty is a kid who kind of grew up as a fearless kid. Like, he wasn't scared of anything. He was always trying to fit in with his older brother. And, what happens to him, it kind of breaks him down and changes the way he views people. So he becomes an introvert, tries to make sure he can control everything that he can, and kind of tries to live the perfect life for himself and his brother, so it's interesting, it's tricky. His because of what happens to his family, they try to escape, you know, that systematic oppression to live in the big house and go to a private school and be privileged. But it's kind of like, no matter what you do, the same problems happen for you. So,
We're definitely looking forward to it. And Olivia, let's talk about the time in which we live in right now.
Yeah.
Why is this series so timely right now?
I think it's so important right now for us to tell a story about two real teenagers who have these damaged souls and go through a very traumatic experience as kids, and seeing where they end up 8 years later and how they're coping with certain things on top of developing powers. I mean, it's a lot, but I think what we're focusing on and what we want is to kind of tackle those topics and start an open dialogue about conversations, you know, that we're having right now in 2018, like what it's like to be a young white female in America in 2018 and what it's like to be like a young black male in America in 2018. And we want to be honest and raw and authentic. And I mean, I feel very grateful to be a part of a show that wants to capture all of that in every way, aspect, form, however you want to say it. It just does a very beautiful job at doing that.
Awesome. And Tyrone, when it comes to, Aubrey, you know, when it comes to like life in the hood and everything,
right,
and what's going on, your character, how could that give hope out there to ones out there?
well, I think just for me, I know the responsibility that I have, you know, playing a young teenage black, you know, superhero. So, you know, even though in the show they do escape, you know, into, and I do say escape because that's what it is, you know, they escape to a great neighborhood, a great private school. Where he comes from is where he comes from, you know, so that's always in him. So I think it's just it's a beautiful story, and both characters have a beautiful arc, and I think people are going to be interested every single week to just see what happens next.
Well, congratulations, you two. Much success. Thank you guys so much. All right.
Appreciate you.
That's been my friend.
I tell you, if you are definitely going to love this series. Like I said, I have the first 5 screeners, and it's definitely an amazing series that you definitely want to check out, and make sure you tune in every week. And Aubrey Joseph, who plays Tyrone, and Olivia Holt, singer, you've seen her before. She's amazing. These two really mesh good together. Now, the series is produced by Jeff Loeb, and Jeff is the same producer EP that produces Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So you're definitely getting that top quality Marvel product that we have all become accustomed to. But the writers that's involved in this is truly one of the baddest storytellers on the planet. We're talking about Gina Prince Bythewood. Now, her husband, Reggie Bythewood, is a producer. Some of you remember him from the New York Undercover drama. He was one of the producers and writers over there. And his wife, she produced and wrote Love and Basketball. So I got a chance to chat with her about the difference between writing for the big screen and now writing for Marvel superhero.
I'm here with one of the baddest storytellers on the planet. Yes, I am. How you doing, my dear Gina?
Great. I'm great.
Gina, one thing I really was intrigued about is how from Love and Basketball now to Cloak and Dagger. Talk about making that transition to superheroes.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is? At the end of the day, whether there's a Marvel in front of it or a DC, it needs to start with character. And that's what I've always loved, is create really great characters and tell their stories. And that's what attracted me to this. These two teenagers who have such troubling lives, and then on top of that, they find out they have superpowers. And how do you navigate that as a teenager and navigate good versus evil? It was just a very cool thing. So to be able to tell their stories in an authentic way, and on top of that, get to do cool stunts and cool special effects, it's definitely where I want to go with my career.
And talk about telling that story and making it seem real out there. And that's one thing I really admire about your style. It's real. You know, we can all relate to it. Talk about how that can be a challenge sometimes.
I mean, it's a challenge because, as you said, you want people to look up on the screen and see themselves, and also believe the characters up on the screen. So honestly, it starts on the page, of course, and then it starts with casting. And we had to find 2 actors who were real teenagers, and that was a struggle. I mean, we came down to the wire. It was 3 days before shooting, but we we had to wait, and we found 2 kids that were actually teenagers, and on top of that, amazing actors. So, and then just our shooting style, we wanted to keep it real and authentic and grounded, which is a little different than what you normally see in the Marvel Universe. So that was fun to be able to marry those 2 things and make the stunts and the effects also feel grounded and real as well.
And when it comes to writing, especially today in the time in which we live in, talk about how keeping the storyline real amidst all the chaos and all the drama that we have today, and now taking that vision and creating it into the story.
Yeah, I mean, so much stuff is going on in the world, and absolutely, I think art should reflect what's going on, and it is still my belief after all these years in the industry that art could change the world. So we deal with some really deep themes in the show, and our hope is that the more that artists do this, the more you can call attention to it, the more people who aren't dealing with it themselves can see it and empathize with it. And once you empathize, then you have a desire to change. And yeah, we go deep. But again, the hope is that people see it and want to change things.
And we appreciate that, because sometimes we try to watch TV to escape certain things. But to escape certain things is not realistic, because as soon as that television show or movie goes off, it's real life, and it's good to have art reflect that and help us keep in our minds with things of what's going on. When it comes to superheroes out there, if you can create the best superhero that come to your mind, what would the superhero superpower be?
What would my superpower be? Well, you know what? One, I would love to be strong. Like, never have to worry about it. And I think that's something, honestly, in this day and age and what's going on with women and the seismic shift in the country, the fact that we can walk down the block and just feel safe. I think that would be a beautiful thing. And then also, I've always wanted to be invisible. I just think that's just a cool thing to navigate through the world and just pick up on what people are doing. I think would be cool.
And Gina, I just want to let you know just how much you're admired by young women today, and just being real. We really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
All right. That was Gina Prince Bythewood, one of the, like I said, the baddest storytellers on the planet. Make sure you check out Cloak and Dagger on Freeform. And if you don't have Freeform, check with your satellite provider or your cable. Or I think you can stream it now. Freeform, yeah. You can definitely stream it. But are you intrigued about that series? Like I said, I've watched the first 5 episodes, and I am blown away in a good way. And I appreciate Gina opening up about how they wanted to have teenagers play teenage characters. How many times have you seen teenagers trying to play teenage characters, and they're not around? They'll get like people in their 20s, like for instance, the Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio. I believe he was 27 years old trying to play a 16 or 17-year-old. He looked it, but you could tell he was a mature 16-year-old. Not a lot of mature 16-year-old boys back then, but it's good to have just the cast of characters, and I'm sure you're definitely going to enjoy it. It's going to debut, I believe, June the 7th on Freeform, so make sure you check it out. Again, Jeff Loeb, who's the executive producer over at Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he is behind this, and you can really tell with great writers like Gina Prince Bythewood. All right, well, that's the extent of our show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and look forward to talking to you next week. All right, take care of yourself.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.